Why be a sword-swinging grunt when you can bend reality itself? Why swing a sword when you can bend the elements at will? Mages aren't just another class, they're the ultimate power fantasy in video games. And today, I'm going to show you why playing as a mage isn't just fun, it might be the best class you can pick. In Nightreign, playing as Recluse doesn't feel powerful right away. You're fragile, your spells take time, you feel like a whisper in a storm. But that's the point. Like Frieren from Frieren, you start small, quiet, cautious, learning by doing. You don't explode onto the scene, you build your strength through experience and mastery. Each expedition in Nightreign is like a new arc in a hero's journey. Each skirmish, each spell cast, it's part of the long climb upward. And by the time you've leveled your build and unlocked your kit, it's a transformation. You become the storm. Mages aren't about brute force, they're about mastering their craft. And that's what makes Recluse so satisfying to play. When you start out levels 1 through 5, the Recluse class lives up to its name. You're fragile, timid, every cast has to count. But that's also when you start to understand what makes this class so rewarding. It's not about raw damage, it's about creative control. By the time you hit levels 5 through 10, you're not just surviving, you're thinking ahead, setting up combos, zoning out enemies, controlling the flow of the fight. This is where Recluse becomes a proper mage. Someone who can solve problems with precision and planning, not panic. Just like Frieren and Frieren, there's this moment when you stop becoming the student and start becoming your own kind of sorcerer. And with the maps and incantations, staffs at your disposal, you have so much that you can do and so many options of how you want to proceed in battle and what kind of mage you want to be. By the time you've hit levels 10 through 15, you're approaching God mode. Not just because of how strong your spells are, but because of how many options you have. You can start a fight from across the map, destroy a dragon by yourself if you're really that good. You can create every elemental spell you can think of at your disposal. And it's really depending on just what you decide to do. Recluse doesn't just reward patience, it rewards imagination and the understanding that in the battlefield, not everything is predictable. Sometimes your allies or your opponents may use elemental spells you may have not been predicting, but you can use that to your advantage to create a spell like no other. Recluse isn't just fighting well, they fight beautifully. Not just strong, but stylish. Every spell has weight, every cast has a rhythm. Incantations have a glow as they charge her chants. Spells have energy buzzing before they detonate into chaos. It's the kind of class that makes you want to stop and watch your own damage. And it's not just flashy, it's distinct. Recluse spells feel arcane, ancient, like you're channeling something that wasn't meant to be touched. Even basic spells carry the sense of mystique, glowing trails, whispering effects, and animations that make every fight feel like you're weaving magic into the world itself. With Recluse, you're not just winning fights, you put on a show. Let's be honest, Recluse isn't for everyone. You're squishy, you're deliberate, you don't have the luxury of panic, because one wrong move and you're done. It's not like tanking hits with a greatsword. You have to think, predict, and execute, sometimes all in the same second. Positioning matters, timing matters. Even mana control becomes part of your survival. But that's what makes Recluse so addictive. It demands focus and rewards execution. When you land that perfect combo, when you outmaneuver and outcast your enemies, it doesn't feel lucky, it feels earned. You're not just playing a class, you're mastering a discipline. And when it all clicks, nothing else in the game feels better. Check out this battle. In this fight, I am able to use every complex spell at my disposal, and it is intentional. I made sure I used every resource I had available, taking the elements as needed to create all 4 complex spells in one battle. I ran it back with the original 3-headed wolf and I destroyed them. And asked myself, is this the height of magic? What makes Recluse so special isn't just the power, it's the journey. You start unsure, cautious, surviving on instinct and hope. But each level teaches you something, gains you something new, how to position, how to think 2 steps ahead, how to create space when no one else can. And when it all comes together, you're not just casting spells, you're controlling the battlefield. In a game like Nightreign, each class has its strengths, but with Recluse, it's a class that tests your patience, sharpens your mind, and rewards you with the purest kind of power. The one that's earned, not given. Because when you choose to walk the path of the mage, you're not just picking a role, you're stepping into mastery.
So this is the light of magic.
And once you've felt what it's like to reshape the world at your will, no other class will ever feel the same.